What a beauty, isn't it? There is Jake. He is incredible. He is always there. There he goes. There you will see him. I love him. The history of the knee is beautiful. All the symptoms are like that, all of them. All yours too. There are no exceptions. There are no symptoms without history. There are not. Every symptom is an unhealed memory. Ho'oponopono, thank you Ho'oponopono. That is the best definition of symptom I have heard. I would add one thing. Painful. All symptoms are a painful, unhealed memory. All symptoms are a painful, unhealed memory. My symptom is in charge of the call. Well, then, that physical pain. Why do I say then? Because we have been going through this topic for 3 videos. Please watch the previous ones if you are going to watch this one, so that you understand the story. You are starting the Netflix series on chapter 4. So, that knee was a physical symptom that had emotions behind it, which were released, which were understood, that each of the ancestors was allowed to release, and that now this person who had the knee symptom begins to receive in his life the benefits that have been attached to that emotion. And what are those benefits? The unfulfilled wishes, the incomplete histories, what I dreamed and did not happen, that is also attached to the emotion. So I'll go back to the subject. I am going to work on a symptom from a physical point of view. My knee hurts. I'm having surgery. Analgesic. Matter. Heat, cold, whatever. Is it wrong to do that? No, of course it is fine. Of course it is fine. And I always value it. And I always say it. In case someone is new here, there are hundreds of doctors in Humano Puente. Chiropractors, traumatologists, psychologists, hundreds. I think that in the last opening of Reorixins or in the last DBE opening, there were 6 in one opening. Psychologists, psychiatrists, I always say it, here there are priests. What does this mean? That there is a logic behind it, that it has nothing to do with religions, that it has nothing to do with being against anyone or science. It's a logic. It's like breathing oxygen. It's something common to all of humanity. This is like oxygen, or like doing yoga. I always say it, like doing yoga, or like listening to Lucas Sorbetti. Do you listen to Lucas Sorbetti? Well, look him up. I am Sorbeto by last name. With Lucas Sorbetti we say that we are like cousins. Look for him on Spotify. Lucas Sorbetti. To be calm, to meditate, to think, for the famous home office that now we are all doing, to harmonize. The other day I told you about sounds that sound harmonic to us and those that don't sound harmonic. Lucas is a master of harmony. He is on Spotify. I'm not promoting him just because I don't talk about anyone in particular, but it really is like that. He is a master of harmony for all that kind of things. Lucas Sorbetti with C, V and double T. It means little deer. I am Sorbeto. It means little deer. Well, we talked about that knee. We talked about how I approach it on a physical level. Physical, you know, it is the most traditional. It is what everyone does. How do I approach it on an emotional level? There you can choose a lot of things. There I am going to have biological currents, which are called biocurrents. I can have biodecoding, bioneuromotion, biological decoding and more. What do I think of them? Wonderful. It seems very good to me. I have the same opinion about medicine. I have the same opinion about this. What is going to happen to me is that when I finish understanding the symptom, what I am going to find until that point is that I am going to release an emotion. Why do I say it? Because Humano Puente is a current that we could call bio. What happens is that it is a path of consciousness of biological basis. That is why it would be very contradictory for me to tell you something bad about biocurrents, because we, at one point, are a biocurrent. But we realized that stopping here was not enough. It wasn't enough if I do not work in the deep world of symbolisms, of the unconscious, of the unfolding of time applied in a certain way, not in the ways that are usually seen when working with the unfolding of time. The original ancient knowledge, as I mentioned, of the Mayans and a lot of things, but above all here there is something. And it says, I am the creator of this, because I can approach it from here, from a side of the emotions related to biology. But as a result of that, I am going to discover that there was an emotion in my unconscious. I am going to become aware of that, and my symptom is going to improve. And it is true that it improves. Of course it improves. That is so. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of cases. I transited several of those currents. I respect them. I appreciate them. What happened is that neither there, the emotion had a logical origin that makes me be living attached to it. And why me? Why do I have this emotion? Why did I live this history of scarcity and he did not? Why did I live this history of clan separations and he did not? What number did I get? What happened? There are some of those currents, that is, biological currents, a little more open, that say, that is because there is something called transgenerational. Actually, from your grandmother you inherited this particular thing. From your grandfather you inherited that other thing. And is that wrong? No, that is very good. What is missing is the logic of what for. Well, and now again, did I inherit it from my mother? Did I inherit it from my father? And there arise concepts like toxic mother, like that swindler grandfather, that old man who did not tell such a thing, because the mother did not tell that she had abortions. And that continues to be like an idea that what they did hurts me. And if I address that and all that, I will become aware of other things. And that is very good. We continue on the path in which everything is fine. But what is missing here, and what will give logic to everything, is when I realize on a deeper level, which is what Emmanuel Puente proposes, that in reality, all those data that are there, which I call grandfather, grandmother, great-grandfather, mother, childhood friends, what happened yesterday, are all data created by me, because I am the unity of time and space and all the things that exist and have existed, and the creator, and the created of all that, and I am having here an experience for me. Maybe the thing gets more mystical there, but it is because of the unconscious concept that we have of the mystical within us. In reality, what we are doing is a logical process. And how do you know it is a logical process? Because it is like in any practice that we could call science, but this is not, if we understand as science what we understand as science. This is not, if we understand as science, something much broader, much bigger. Yes, of course this is. So, in that, what they have in common here is that here there are tests to see if it works or not, and then I see, and here too. Then when that logic is applied, when the logic of understanding why this happened is applied, when I travel from the unconscious, when I travel to their lives, when I release things, and when the person who came for a pain, any pain, knee pain, a clan that doesn't get along, economic problems, the person receives everything that had been left with him or her in the desires of their clan and says, what is happening that so much abundance, so much beauty is coming into my life? There is where one says, obviously there is something in my reality that I do not understand. And that is where one begins to recognize oneself as the creator and begins to walk on that path that he or she has just opened, thanks to the symptom. I love you, big hug.